let's see if that works. If we go live.
Pretty easy if I'd have just driven to your place. You're only about 10 minutes away.
Yeah, we could have done it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next time.
Maybe we should do one
And-
there at some
and-
point.
And I'll
Yeah,
grow
yeah.
goatee.
Well,
I'll
look,
grow
there's all
goatee
the
as well.
space. Look, all the space.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I mean that might be an idea actually. At
We
some
can get-
point, if we decide to do an in-person one.
Yeah, we can get a sofa and
we
a
could probably
table
do it,
and some lighting. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so I can't see if I've gone live. Can you see, Si,
You
if
have
you've
gone. Yeah, I can see you've gone. Let me look online.
Yeah.
Look on.
One thing to remember, Adnan, is that don't log off. You'll see on the top of your window, you'll see a percentage sign that is indicating how much of your video has been uploaded. So one thing to do is to make sure that you don't log off until that's at 100%.
Sure.
Because otherwise I won't get the full file. Which I'll do. I think we have gone live. Yes,
We are live.
we are indeed live. Yes. So
Good.
let me just share that link across everywhere. We can do the same. Actually, I'll put it in the group so that you can see where. How much of your video has been uploaded? Oops. So one thing to do is to make sure you log off until copy link.
Sure.
Why isn't that working? Otherwise, I won't get the full file.
Put the camera here. Pretty better, isn't it?
We are live. That's live there. So let me just share that.
How come I'm the only one that shows a double chin when I'm on these camera things?
Lift the camera up a bit.
It's the illusion of the camera. It's how you position the camera. That's what it's all about.
Well, I saw my doctor the other day. I have to lose 16 kilograms. So,
well, I can guide you on that because I do all of that stuff, intermittent fasting and all that stuff.
How can I eat cake and pizza and still lose weight? That's what I know.
Well, it's easy. You just eat it once a day.
You vomit.
Now that's some other disease, isn't it?
Yes. So you eat it and then you just vomit. You just throw it all up again. That's the way to do it, I guess. But so how's everybody doing anyway?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Because you're both East Londoners. How's things in East London right now?
Well, I've got to say, East London is. If I had a choice to live, I wouldn't live in East London. That says it all.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Where would you live?
I would rather live West or North London or something.
Well, I'd rather live in Knightsbridge, but that's just I can't
£1
million place house. But, yeah, East London's not that bad. It's a bit.
It's not that bad, but it hasn't got the best reputation. When you mention East to people, they go, "Oh, do you live in East London?" Oh, okay.
Well, if you can drive in East London, you can drive in anywhere. It's like you can drive in Bombay.
I thought they used to, exactly. I was going to say they used to say that about India and Pakistan. If you can drive there, you can drive anywhere. But it's East London now, is it?
Well, I was saying that there's more Indians in East London than there is in Bombay.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Absolutely. Anyway, so what's happening today?
So well, let's hopefully Imthishan will join us shortly. Let's see. In the meantime, I'll tell you what. Let's kick off. Let's welcome our audiences. He's going to join us in just a couple of minutes. So typically,
it's 5 o'clock there, isn't it? 5 o'clock.
It is a bit later on there, but
so
anyway,
he loves 911s.
Yeah, he loves 911s. Yeah.
He's a big fan of 911s. You need to talk.
We'll talk about 911s.
So, welcome to everybody who's joining us today. We are live on YouTube, and this is the latest edition of the BrownCarGuy therapy session. And what we do here is we rant, we reminisce, we revel in all things automotive. And we've got a full house today, or we will have. We've got one more guest coming on in a minute. So we've got 2 guests at the moment, 3 of us in total, but one more is on there. So I'm obviously Shazad Sheikh. I'm the BrownCarGuy. And we've got joining us, as you will know him well now, he's been on several of my podcasts, pretty much a regular now. Si, who's the founder of Drivers Union, the biggest multi-mark supercar club in the UK. And we've got Adnan. Adnan, your surname is Malik, right? Adnan Malik.
It is, yeah.
Adnan Malik, who is the founder of Landbeasts. He's in East London. I put up a video on that just recently, a couple of weeks ago. I had a walk around. I was shown around by the charming Kay. An incredible collection of just totally drool-worthy 80s and 90s, which you can see some of them actually behind him in the frame. If you maybe you just want to swing the camera around, Adnan, give people a glimpse. Oh my Lord! Wow, that is just cool car heaven right there. And he's got an A60 Supra as well. And I'm hoping to have one other person join, so I'll introduce him once he joins. But in the meantime, let's kick off. This is a therapy session. So let's start by talking. Give me a sentence or two on what has been grinding your gears most of all recently. Adnan, let's kick off with you.
What's been grinding? I tell you what's been grinding my gears is how the prices have dropped for classic cars, and they've become affordable for a lot of people who couldn't afford certain models, and it's kind of good.
But are you saying? I was going to say, do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
Well, it's a good thing for people who are looking, like, for example, E-types. If someone, I mean, E-types went through the roof, and recently I've seen a drop. So people who always talk about them, always wanted them, can actually afford them now. Whereas for dealers, people like us, it's a bit of a pain because prices have dropped.
Stock.
Yeah. So, and if you thought your car was worth something, it's no longer worth that. And that's kind of across the board with most classics, not all of them, but most of them.
So are you like sitting there with depreciating stock around you?
Well, they're not depreciating. I think there's adjustment. There's an adjustment in the price. I think that's definitely happened. I think since COVID, they're inflated and the prices were through the roof. I mean, during COVID, we sold everything we had just went. Yeah. And a good example I can tell you now is we had a MGB Roadster, mint one in here. It was a customer's car. He bought it during COVID for 24,000, and we had it for 15,995. We couldn't sell it. And he's taking it back. He's going to use it because that's how much that car's dropped. So that's what's happening, and that's kind of annoys us, people, especially if you're in the trade.
Is the budget is a late budget affecting it as well, because no one knows what's going to happen, and tax is going to go up, so the property market has collapsed at the moment. You can't sell a property, you can't sell a house, and I've got friends that sell houses. And is that the same in the motor? Is that the same in the motor trade now? Is that everything's very
it is. I mean, I've got a Ferrari here. I mean, a Ferrari 328, to sell that few years ago would have gone, but it's sitting here at £75,000, and it's one of the nicest ones we have. So yes, there is definitely a vacuum of hypercars and cars above 200,000, 150. They're no problem, because if you've got 10 million in the bank and you've lost $1 million, you've still got 9 million. You can buy a 512 TR, whatever. But it's the average earner who's suffering because of the cost of living. They're the ones, and these cars fall into these brackets from 20,000 up to about 100,000. And I'm finding that with my finance broker, who's had to move out of his office into home because the finance deals are no longer going through, and there are not enough people applying for finance because no one's buying them. And that's across the board. And I think that's the same thing with the property market, isn't it?
I think the property market is just dead. The estate agents are hardly selling the high-end properties. Maybe some of them are selling, but everybody's scared about your stamp duty and potential taxation on capital gains and whatnot. I think everybody's scared. The budget will come out in November. When it comes out, it's late November. I think it's coming out. Well, even if it's good news, no one's going to do anything because Christmas is coming. Everyone's thinking about Christmas presents and parties. Yeah. Then in January, everybody's recovering. So you're looking around February, March for things, if they do go up. And I don't think they are. I think everything's going to go down.
Yeah. Same applies to the car market. It's the same thing. Why would you want to have something? Because classic cars you buy with your heart. You don't buy with your head generally.
Let me just interrupt you, Adnan. So let me introduce my old partner in crime, who's now gone sideways.
Okay.
Do you want me sideways or do you want me vertical?
Well, you know what? Just put it back the other way, because Adnan is also in a vertical format. So you know what? So in the live format, people will watch it like this, and when the edited version, I'll fix it later on. So don't worry about that. But so yeah, Imthishan is my old buddy from Dubai. He was my dev editor on Car Middle East magazine. Then we founded Motoring Middle East digital platform, and we got up.
So you work together.
I probably worked longer with Imthishan than anybody else in my career. So you know, and we were a bit of a double act in Dubai. Most recently, I rejoined him again in December last year when he was working on the Milli Milli, and he very kindly asked me to come over and assist with that a little bit, and we had a real laugh. We had a great time. And Imthishan, meet Adnan. Adnan, who one of two bald guys that we have on today. I'm wearing a hat just to make sure nobody knows if I'm bald or not. But Adnan is the founder of Landbeasts, and Adnan, just swing us around your place again. He has got the most.
There you go. I'll do a stand up. There you go.
He's got the most drool-worthy collection of 80s.
Do you like
and 90s.
the? I heard he liked the Porsche.
911s, yeah.
So we've got one there. I don't know if you can see it. They're over there. So we have.
But you got a proper 911 in there as well, though. Actually, you got a
real 911. Yeah,
you got a real one. So, and we'll come back to your cars in a minute. And then, of course, the other bald guy that we have is Sai, who is the founder of many classic car supercar clubs here in the UK. Currently, he's founder of Drivers Union, the biggest multi-mark supercar club in the UK. And so there we have it. So we were started off actually by I asked what was grinding your gears, and Adnan was talking about the classic car market and how prices are sort of appear to be a little bit in free fall. And I think we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's move on to Sai, because I know there's a couple of things grinding his gears right now, actually.
You know what?
Get it off your chest. Go on.
What have I got? I don't know. I thought I was in a relaxed mood because I just come back from holiday.
Not the messages you've been sending me.
Oh, okay, Ferrari. Let's talk about Ferrari.
Oh, and he is a Ferrari owner, by the way.
Oh, let's talk about Ferrari. So Ferrari, what have they lost? 20% of their shares at the moment, collapsing. When I think just after around the time they launched the photos or details of the new fully electric Ferrari, which is which is heresy, really. Which I think is just crazy. But you know, you got to do it. But now they're reducing it to 20%, aren't they? They're going to do 20% electric cars. Then
that's a major about turn.
That's a major about turn.
And it's industry wide. It's happening, across the industry.
They've also said their profits. They expect reduced profits for the next decade. So that's and they're the most profitable manufacturer in the world, a car manufacturer. And they're losing breath. And then I woke up the other day to see photographs of the new SC40, which is
what is an SC40? To be honest with you, I have kind of completely lost track of Ferraris right now. I can barely keep up with what they're producing and what they're introducing.
Me too. I have no idea what's out.
Okay, Ferrari. Shazad, have you got a photo? Can you put the photograph on the screen?
Hang on, let me get that up because
the Ferrari SC40 is. If you had seen it online, you would have thought it's just a joke. That's the SC40. So that's a one-off. Now, what car do you think that's based off of?
Kia? I don't know.
Initially, I thought it was that, which is obviously the latest successor in the lineage of F40. So that is, I don't know, what is that, an F80 or something?
So the SC40 is a one-off based on, and it's a homage to the F40. So what Ferrari do, they have this special department which caters for special one-offs. I don't know if you've heard about it. So I was actually lucky a few years ago to take part in one of these. So they do a presentation for these multi-million, and I'm not a multi-millionaire. My friend was. So these multi-millionaires, they do a presentation. The designer comes over, head of department from Italy, and he'll have a discussion. They'll tell him this is what we're going to do. So what they do is they say, right, what you do is we can customize a car to how you want it, create new body shapes. Eric Clapton did one as well on a 458 a few years ago. So they say you choose your model, choose the base model, and then we'll design it how you want it. So you could say you want it to look like a Testarossa. We put the strakes in it. And once it's made, no one else can have a car based on that kind of model. That'll be a one-off. So someone's come along and said, oh, you know what? I like to have an F40 thing. So they've got a 296 GTB as the base. They've created the entire new body, designed it. I'm looking at it now here, and it looks. Do you know what? What happened to Ferrari? It just looks shit. In my opinion, I won't mince words. It was the front is, it doesn't look nice. So it just shows
I mean,
that
okay,
money does not buy taste.
I mean, the thing is that, so Adnan is sitting there, and I think you've got a 512 in there, haven't you, Adnan?
No, that's gone.
Or is it gone? So you had a 512 in there, and you've got
It went
328.
yesterday. It went yesterday
right?
to Malaysia.
To Malaysia. Oh, excellent. And you had it, and but you have a 328. You were talking about that.
328 is there. Yeah, that's it.
Which to me, the 308, the 328, to me that sort of epitomizes Ferrari. When I think of Ferrari, those are probably the two cars
They're
that
beautiful.
I think of most. They're beautiful. They're
Pretty.
absolutely stunning, and they're so instantly recognizable. Like they couldn't be anything else other than a Ferrari. And when you look at all of this new stuff, it's a bit crazy. Now, Imthishan, obviously, you're in Dubai. That's the land of the new supercars and hypercars. Over here, I guess between Adnan, Sai, and myself, I guess we're getting slightly we're sort of sending out vibes that we're slightly disillusioned about Ferrari at the moment. But what's the sense over there?
Great. Everything's great. People love Ferraris. Don't know what you guys are on about. They sell out here. People buy them. They're for young people now. They're not for you old codgers.
That's true. No, that's true. But here, the young guys are buying the Ferraris, aren't they? I mean, people our age, that we are still hunkering after the 328s and the 512s and the F40s, because I think it's an age thing. This is another topic. It's an age thing. I think I did a post on it a couple of weeks ago, and it blew up, where I said it is literally an age thing. The young guys don't want to start a car in the morning and wait 10 minutes for the oil to come through and then have to grind in the gear into second and third. They want to get in, start and go, because they're in the fast world. That's the thing. And the modern Ferraris are made for that. They are. You can start one up and use it daily, couldn't you?
And a lot of young guys also like Lamborghinis more. Especially
absolutely. I mean, I've got Countach here. A young guy wouldn't know how to start it, let alone drive it.
Yeah.
So
and Countach famously, you couldn't use was it first and second gear? You can't use it until it's fully warm.
No, until it's warm. Well, I mean, even the 328 is until it's warm. If you put it in second gear, it grinds, and that's how it was. Now, if you get a 30 someone and say, by the way, you're going to spend 100 grand on a Ferrari, and you can only drive it when it's not raining because it might rust, and then you can't start it. You have to put jump leads on it in case he's just going to walk away. We see it here. So it's a generational thing, and the new Ferraris are made for the new generation, which we can't argue with that, can we?
We're just getting old. That's all it is. I mean, I'm only 28, but
yeah, and you know, the kids of today, kids are born today, in 30 years they'll be looking at internal combustion engines and going, "Oh my God, that stinks! How did you drive that?" Yeah, true.
Well, we are going to become, like smokers now, standing outside doorways, smoking away. We're going to be like those. Oh, look at that guy! He's stinking up the road.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's one of those dying breeds, and this is why the prices have dropped, because we're getting old, and the people who fix them are getting old.
Yeah, it's true.
It is
definitely a generational thing, and I think we can see that across the board.
To find someone who can tweak up 3 carburetors on an E-Type, you try finding someone. It's impossible. It's impossible.
I'd like to add though that before we all get so negative, and I know it's the grumpy part of the show. However.
Well, it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic. You know what I mean? It's like, get it off your chest, you know? That's what it's about. It's a therapy session.
But let me add some data in here, right? So basically, who are the fastest growing section of the market buying manuals? It's young people. Young people are driving a resurgence in manual cars all over the world. I think what everybody's saying is correct. But what's different is the nuance. And the nuance is people want to drive fast cars, young people. I am part of a community in Dubai that restores old Japanese cars, American cars. We love working on cars in the weekend. I was there up to my neck in valve covers this whole week. But you know what they don't want? They don't want headaches. They don't want really expensive cars. The younger generation what are their supercars? Obviously the JDM stuff, but they're getting into Porsches. They're getting into Fords, but they're not getting into the old esoteric Italian stuff, which typically requires a Giovanni or Geppetto to basically keep your bloody car running. Somebody who hoards knowledge for himself. because now building, working, wrenching on cars, as the Americans like to say, is a communal thing. People do it on the weekend. They go, they race. Porsches, great at that. People, they go, they race, they fix, they break it, they do it all over again. With your Countach, or Peugeot intended, you drive it on a nice day when it's not raining and the Stelvio pass is open and there's no caravans on it. You go out there, you do 20 minutes, you shit yourself the entire way, hoping that a caravan won't crash into it. And when you're in traffic, you curse everybody and the non-existent air conditioning. And then you get back to your garage, praising the Lord that you have made it back with your value intact, and then you don't drive it again for 6 months, but you take lots of pictures on the way. Young people out there, they're just driving. They want to drive cars. They want cars that they can afford. That's what makes me pissed off. People are not making cars that people can actually afford and enjoy and use every day. Even the Civic Type R that I'm driving every day is way too expensive for a hot hatch buyer these days. It's a brilliant car, but they chased the wrong end of the market. It became like a Porsche.
Yeah,
they
killed it off here already because it just got way too expensive. We're talking
Nobody's
50 to
buying
60
it over
grand.
here
50
either.
to 60 grand for a Civic Type R. That's ridiculous. We've had a
you know
message
what?
from Tim saying, old, loving ice and happy classic prices are falling. Sorry, Adnan, in brackets, is what Tim has said. So
I agree with Tim, to be honest. Sorry. Lotus Esprit turbos need to come down a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, an Esprit went for really silly money. I shared it with you, Sai, just the other day, because I saw this thing on, what was it, Classic in Cars or something? And it was up at auction, and I thought, wonder what that will go for. I posted it on my Facebook page, and it was an S3, non-turbo, but it was an S3. And it looked really nice. I think it was black, and it went for, well, actually, Adnan, would you like to guess what it went for? It's an S3, non-turbo.
30,000.
Yeah, I would have thought north of 30,000.
Yeah.
It went. What was it? 15,250.
13,750.
You know, I had a turbo white one, which I think you've seen a picture of it in my unit when you came. And
Yep.
I bought it and I drove it 4 times. The first time the accelerator pedal got stuck at the full throttle. Second time the door wouldn't close, so it would go around the corner. Third time the front wheel bearing collapsed, and this was a mint car, so I sold it because of that reason. but it was beautiful to video and picture. That's what it was good for.
What was it? Series 3?
Yeah, it was a turbo. Yeah, because of James Bond, right? Because I bought it because of James Bond, and I thought, wow.
I have a question, Adnan. How mint was it? Had it had all the maintenance, all the records, everything done?
No, it was mint. I mean, it was because I always buy the best possible. I don't skimp on buying cars that need work, because I believe let someone else spend all the money on it and then you buy it. And so this was a mint car. But again, it was made. They're like as if it was made in a shed down in, I don't know, Suffolk somewhere. But I mean, don't get me wrong, beautiful shape and one of the most iconic shapes. But I sold it because I could never use it. But I had it for 10 years. 10 years.
I mean, the one that Shazad said, I mean, looking at it, 13,750.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Right. Recent engine out service with approximately £12,000 in repair bills.
Barely got the money back.
£12,000 spent, and he sold it for £1,750 more.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. That must have been a real crap car if you wanted to get rid of it that cheap.
Talking of old cars, I mean, Imthishan, for what was it, 3 years or 4 years you were doing the Mille?
Yeah, 3.5 years.
3.5 years. So you would get a bunch of cars out of storage, because I was with you the last time you did this, and they would run pretty much 1,000 kilometers across the UAE.
1,600 to be exact.
1,600, that's amazing. And not actually that, I mean, I don't know about your previous year's experience, but when I was with you, not that many faults, really.
Sort of. I mean, my job was to make sure nobody knew about the faults.
Yeah.
But I had 3 teams of mechanics working day and night. Have you forgotten that bit?
Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. We'd kind of drive around the block and then hand them over to the mechanics at night and go to bed, wouldn't it?
Yeah, basically I had to keep the darn things on the road, and our job was to basically test them every night, fix. I mean, you can't take a car out of storage and run it hard. Unfortunately, the only one that you can do that is a Porsche. A Porsche you can ride, and it would run like absolute dog shit for the first day or so. And then once it runs the old fuel and whatever, and then it gets working again. Mercedes are the same. What is never works properly, breaks my heart, is any Jag. Any Jag is just, they all broke down. Not a single British car we had made it to the end. Very, very high-end Mercedes. So we had a 600 grosser that didn't even make it out of the car park.
Wow.
The brakes failed while it was going uphill, which is great because then 6 men couldn't push that bloody behemoth uphill. Yeah, there are lots of cars in there that's a myth. Once again, classic cars are a faff. They're just a faff. And these are good cars. These are all low mileage cars. Do you remember the GTS Porsche that we had, the 928?
The 928, yeah.
What
that
a
was
brilliant
kind of my car for
that
the first few days.
And then you gave it back.
I did. You know, to be honest, I've always liked the 928. I've always been a fan of it. I've always loved it. And I have driven it once before, briefly. I think it was for Used Car Buyer magazine back in the day. We did a review on it. And then, so I was quite looking forward to this one. But I don't know if it was that particular car or something about it. I didn't quite connect with it. I really didn't connect with it.
Do you know who did connect with it? Me.
Yeah, you liked it, bizarrely. The guy who says the Porsches are driven by pricks and doesn't like them
Porsches.
ends up loving both the 911 and the 928.
Is it 911s only or all Porsches?
All the bloody things. I can't stand the things. And yet I ended up loving these two cars because they became human. I think, Saeed, that's the thing.
They became personality, yeah.
They're absolutely human cars. Like the 911 that I had was my personal car during the rally, is the grumpiest. Oh my God. It is the most Nazi car you ever imagined. That thing just wants to murder you.
You're going to get cancelled. You can't say that.
It's too late, man.
It's a safe space.
Oh, no. It's just angry and it just wants to cause trouble. It's right wing. It's out there. It's as a hooligan. And yet, what it wants is to be taken by the scruff of the neck and driven hard. It even destroyed poor Shazad's moral character in the half an hour that he drove it.
Yeah.
But the 928, running like shit. Absolutely. When you braked, because it had a vacuum leak, the engine would shut off because there was a leak in the brake booster. Yeah. So you had to brake while hitting the accelerator, which is a novel experience. Yeah. Believe me, for those who are not used to it.
I used to do that with my old Cortina, my first car.
But once you learned what the car could do, you were fine. Once you understood how to keep it going, it's a bit like, you know, an old war film, getting the bombers home all shot up, one wing hanging.
Well, you did kind of have to nurse it home. I certainly felt that. And I think, what was it, on the second day or whatever, we were going up the famous Jebel Hafid, which everybody knows.
Which you could not.
You know, it couldn't. And this was the thing, because you were in the 911 and your social media guy was with you, and he was trying to take pictures or videos of some of the cars that were in the convoy. And he kept telling me, he's like, Shazad, go, just go, because I don't need you. You go, and I need to shoot. And I was like, I'd like to, but I can't. Because I can't get up the damn mountain, because I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. And that's it. That's all I've got. You know?
I think it didn't like you. Because when we were going back to Abu Dhabi on the last bit, and you remember, it was frying the piston rings, it was burning oil, it was dying in front of us. Yeah. But by gum, I took it around that flyover, that interchange at about 160 or 100 miles per hour in your language. It was happy as Larry. Yeah. It just wanted to go. It just didn't like you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing about classic cars, and Adnan will probably it'll be interesting to see if you agree with me, but they are very, very different, and they're very different personalities. And unlike modern cars, like I review cars, Imthishan reviews cars, nowadays any car I get invited to review, I probably know 90% of what the car is going to be like before I've even looked at the car, before I've even gotten into it. I've pretty got a good idea of what it's going to be like. But classic cars continue to surprise you. So I'm not really necessarily a Mercedes guy, but one of the cars that I really fell in love with on the Mille Miglia last year was, we had a 6.9. What was it? 450 SE 6.9, 1978. And oh my God, to a man, anybody that sat in that car just fell in love with it. It was unbelievable. It's just a rumbly, big old beast of a boat that instantly you felt at home, you felt happy, you felt satisfied, and I just couldn't stop. And any time I had it, I couldn't stop driving it.
That's because of that film Ronin, isn't it? You've been watching that film.
It wasn't even that. It was literally the car itself. It was the character, the personality of it, this big, lumbering, comfy beast that felt like it had this inherent potency hiding within it. And you just felt like there was one point, because we had guests across 3 different hotels at one point in Ras Al Khaimah. And initially, I was taking the journalists from one to the other, and then I was supposed to join everybody for the dinner. I kept on doing it for another couple of hours because I was just picking up random people going, did you want to go to I'll drop you, no problem. Because I was just loving cruising around in this thing. It was incredible.
Yeah, those cars. I mean, my just going back to the Porsche 928, my favorite driving car is my white one is the S2. So that is what I use. So what I use in the summer, I think you've seen it, haven't you, Shazad?
Yeah.
So I use that throughout the summer as my daily car. And the 928 for me is probably one of the most complete cars that I have in terms of reliability, driving, the seating position, and just a V8 grunt, and it's an S2, so it's not the most powerful one, but I think they are as a complete Porsche. It's one of the nicest. I'd rather drive that than a 911 of the same period.
Interesting.
We've had Tim has come back. I think he's talking about your Lotus because he said mint. Was it a Polo? Sounds like it had a lot of holes. And we've also had Henry come back. Henry's a good friend of the channel, and he says love that showroom. The opinion of East London is changing. It's now a cool area. So I think you've just enhanced the cool appeal of East London now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good. Yeah, so the Porsche 928 for me is. I think it's one of the best Porsches ever built. But it's overshadowed by the 911.
What color is yours?
It's white. It's white. It's just parked right next to me. Yeah, let me swing it round. I don't know if you can see it.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But if you keep the camera there for a little bit and swing it around, because you've got the 928, but next to the 928 you've got a bit of a rare red beast there, which is a Mitsubishi Starion. The Starion, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Starion. That's 43,000 miles, and it's a 2.6. Another stunning car, yeah, absolutely.
Now, one of the things that when I was chatting to Adnan, he's got a lot of film and TV memorabilia as well in his office. And one of the things that caught my eye was an action man, an action figure of Steve Austin, the $6 million man. He's actually got with the bionic eye. He's actually got that, and I was like, whoa. And I think that this was something that Imthishan and I often discuss, is how you relate to cars. And I think it's often through pop culture and movies and television. Yeah. And I think that's something that you really lean into, isn't it, Adnan?
Funny enough, pretty much every car that is here in my collection is because of a connection to either a movie or where I used to see it during the day. So absolutely, the Starion I've got purely because if you look at what do you call it, Cannonball Run film, there's a black one in it. The Countach, well, I mean, when we were growing up, that was a Veyron to us. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, you never thought of owning a Countach, and the moment I could afford it 24 years ago, I financed the crap out of it, and I just didn't live anywhere apart from just have this car and lived at my parents. And so every single car, and the Porsche 928 is because of Risky Business with Tom Cruise. You know, when I saw that movie in 1982, I think the earlier one, he had a gold one. So the S2 resembles that. So I have that. The NSX I've got is because of Ayrton Senna. So we buy cars, and I think the youngsters do the same. They buy cars which connect them to a time or a period. I mean, and 911s, I'm sure as a 911 enthusiast, No Man's Land with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
have you seen that movie? I mean, that's got to be one of the best movies for a 911, isn't it? I mean, 911s, he steals 911s and he doesn't want Italian trash. So every single car in my collection is a link to my past, whether it's a movie or whether I used to see the car every day and someone was driving it and so on and so forth. I've got an M635 CSI here. I think of all the BMWs, for me, a 6 Series E24 is probably the best looking BMWs. But that's my opinion.
What about Aston
Everyone
Martin?
has different things.
What about Aston Martin? You're not a James Bond fan?
No, the thing about this is a problem. I don't like showing off with my cars, and I think anyone who drives an Aston Martin thinks he's James Bond.
That's true.
And,
that is true. I agree.
One amongst us does indeed drive an Aston Martin.
yeah, okay.
And I do play James Bond music.
Yeah. So the problem is, wherever you go in an Aston Martin, people look at you go thinking, oh, he thinks he's James Bond, even if you don't, and so it's got that stigma with it.
I agree with you. Because I'm part of the Aston Martin Owners Club, and they are obsessed with James Bond. They have 007 plates.
Yeah.
Anything to do with Bond in a WhatsApp group, oh, Bond this, oh, 00 this, oh, this. And I'm actually sick of James Bond because of that. And I want to sell mine. I want to sell mine soon and get a 911.
I think with the, with the prices being the way they are, you'll have to give it away. I think you can't sell it.
I think I'll have to pay money to take it away.
and Imthishan, of course, you had a very famous movie-related car.
Yeah, a DeLorean.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah. Which
what happened to it?
Nothing. I sold it. It was great. I had it for 5.5 years. I did everything humanly possible with that car.
Time travel?
Fantastic. Not yet. Not yet. Or maybe
I like one of them. But same thing. When you drive around in it, you just literally Back to the Future all day long. And
that's the whole appeal, though. I mean, it's okay up to a point, but the problem is with Back to the Future is people start living their own Back to the Future fantasy because they start thinking it's their car. So they all just want to get behind the wheel and take pictures.
Yeah.
When you see like a Testarossa, nobody thinks, oh, I'm Don Johnson. They take a picture of the outside of the car. But when they see a DeLorean, they want to get into the car and they get sawed right off.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I get it.
The other thing is, I recall, is everybody wanted to touch it because of the stainless steel. And that drove you crazy.
Everyone got 87 miles per hour.
It was fingerprints city. I walked around, I had a bottle of Windex in the car and a soft cloth so that I could just constantly keep I looked like the guy from Citizen Khan or whatever. I was constantly like squirting the thing.
What do you clean them with? It's aluminium, right?
Stainless steel body.
Stainless
but it's just
body,
panels. But it's just an Esprit with stainless steel body. Honestly speaking, like any other car. No big deal.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah. I have a customer who's got one. He loves it. He drives it, and he's made it more reliable, whatever that means. It's probably taken it certain places. They've made it more reliable, but he uses it a lot. So yeah, again, it's a lovely car. I would love to have it in a collection. But would I drive it a lot of it? Well, maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
I would say that it's very comfortable. So it's like an Esprit. So you got the same sort of things you do to a modern Esprit, which is modernize it, fix up the fuel injection, take care of the cooling system. But this all well understood upgrades. Take all the cats. It had cats, which were a very stupid idea because they were early 80s cats. So mine had no cats. It was basically free-flowing exhaust. And that thing sounded like a 911 at the end of it. It was very loud and very rotty. And then you can get coilovers. Basically, it's a modifier's dream because once you modify it, it handles beautifully. I would put it up against the 911 of the period. It handles really well. And it's not particularly quick, but you can make it quick. There are ways to make it quick. And then you have a car that's pretty reliable and easy to use every day. And if you want attention, nothing else on earth compares. You
100%. 100%.
I mean, in Dubai, because I often used to be, I inevitably would follow Imthishan to events and stuff like that. And I would just see people sort of gravitating towards his car because people are obviously driving along and got their phones out to take a picture. And the cars are sort of zeroing in on his car. So it was quite scary.
Like a magnet.
But honestly, like, you know, we'd be going on Jumeirah Beach Road or whatever. There's a Bugatti Veyron, there's a Lamborghini, whatever. There's a Ferrari. Nobody cares. DeLorean, oh my God, that is the instant superstar. It was incredible.
Funny enough, my Mustang, I've got 67 fastback here.
It is beautiful. I've seen the car. It is stunning.
That does the same thing, similar sort of thing. I think that and the Countach Anniversary, they're the two cars that get photographed the most. And obviously the DeLorean, if that was the case. Yeah, so certain cars have that thing, don't they?
And is the 67 because it's a John Wick car?
No, John Wick one.
The John Wick is a Mac. It's a Mac 1, isn't it?
It was 69. No, it's not a Mac 1. It's a King Cobra.
It's a Boss.
Or is it?
I think it's.
No, it's not a Boss.
Isn't it?
All look the same
It's
to
a
me.
429. It's a 429, I believe. which means they have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
biggest
no,
muscle.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know my American stuff as well. So yeah. So this is a
Si's buddy's got a replica of it. What's your friend's
Is
name?
it? Right.
Colin at Sheesh Restaurant. Yeah, he's actually turned it into a John Wick replica, including with the gold coins, fake gold coins. I think he's got a gun in there as well and stuff, and a stuffed dog.
Hang on, you say he's got a gun in there?
It's a fake gun, and I think he's got a fake gun. Or is he trying to get right? I don't know, but he's turned it into a full. He's got a fluffy dog as well. And it's,
right.
Is the dog alive?
No, it's a not stuffed one. It's a toy one.
Yeah.
It sounds really.
Well, the Eleanor ones are now going for genuine Eleanor, not genuine, but replica Eleanor replicas. They go for 100,000 plus. Yeah. I think there's a company here. Is it? I can't remember what's the name. He sells them. Got them for 200,000 quid. Who pays 200 grand for a Mustang? I don't know.
There's a friend of mine here, Peter Kabbalah. Maybe you're referring to him. He's American Classic Cars. And again, like you were talking earlier about post-COVID. And I remember chatting to him post-COVID, and he said, look, they're all gone. He said, all my cars are gone, and I can't get any more stock. Because post-COVID, he said, everybody just wanted them. And people were like literally calling up and said, I'm sending you the money. He said, no, don't you want to come and see the... No, I'm sending you the money, just send me the car. That's it. That was it. Like, no discussion. And he said, now it's sort of calmed down a bit, but he's still struggling to get stock. The vast majority of the cars that he sells are either already or he has to respray them Highland Green, because there's a big demand still for bullet Mustangs, and I think Eleanor is like second on the list. We've had a comeback from Tim. I'm not quite sure what he's saying here. Maybe you can decipher. Adnan's right. I bought my GTR 4 Dove not for the looks but rarity because it was 4 days older than me. But I was delighted when I learned that the roof was by Harrington's, who also built the Italian job coach.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, so this is what I mean. Everyone's buying cars because it touches them certain part of their life, and that's what's nice about it, isn't it?
You mean the J7 or the Zeekr Z01 isn't doing that for you, gents?
Adnan's like, what?
I'll tell you what. Another car I bought, but I know was a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am GTA. Basically the Knight Rider one, but the last ones. I specifically didn't want it in black for that same reason. I didn't want to drive around and people thinking, "Look at that idiot. He thinks he's Michael Knight." And so I bought a grey one. And I like stupidly sold it. So anyway, let's not go into American car stuff. That's a different ball game altogether.
Go on. I was going
to say I got quite excited because I thought you were talking about the Smoking a Bandit Trans Am.
No. You know what? That's another one. No, I bought the GTA, the 5.7. It was the last of incarnation of the Knight Rider car. It's probably the best ones they made, but. In that period, the American cars had the emissions stuff on the engine. It dampened the
strangled the cars.
Absolutely ridiculous. So when you take it all off, it transforms the car. All those cars from that period.
One of the cars you're saying, look, one of the cars we want to move away from American cars, but also one of the cars that you actually got there actually. And is a car that I bought, and talking about how you're influenced by movies to buy a car, but I was influenced by this car, which was not movie or TV related. I bought, this was in the 90s, I bought an A60 1984 Toyota Celica Supra. And that car, which you've got one in there in your place as well, and that car had such a personality that I found myself physically changing how I dressed and how I looked. I went into that whole long black leather jacket, I started doing all these things because I started thinking that I needed to live up to the personality of that car. So by inference, a cool car made the owner cooler. So I wasn't trying to be anybody, but I was sort of, part of my personality was developing because of that car.
Right. So you thought you were Michael Knight.
By the way. Okay.
Yeah, and funnily enough, that car is sitting right here, and there it is.
It is beautiful. I love that car. I still love that car. That's probably, it's in the top 3 that I've ever owned. That, the little Honda CRX, and the BMW E30 are my top 3 cars.
Yeah. Well, the digital dash on it is what did it, the Knight Rider thing, didn't it?
Yeah. Digital
absolutely.
dash, pop-up headlights, straight six engine. I mean, what's not to like?
Does the
And it's
digital
still,
dash still work?
yeah. Funny enough, the Japanese digital dash works, but if you buy an Opel or a Vauxhall, they all go wrong. Whereas on this one, it's always working fine. Absolutely amazing.
Japanese.
Japanese. Yeah, Japanese. Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah, which
Nothing
is funny
goes wrong.
because whenever we start a Japanese car up after 2 years, you put battery on start. A German car, Italian car, no chance. No chance. It's just causing. But apart from Porsche, before that comes in, a 911 normally starts straight away, and a 928. Yeah, it's okay. My 928 is quite good. It's reliable. You got to use them though. You have to use them.
Yeah.
No car. I don't think any car was made to be sitting around. Engines have to be used. And working as a having a workshop here, we see so many low mileage cars come in, which are terrible. Yet the high mileage cars are 100 times better.
You know,
And that
you're
applies.
echoing something that I've always said, and people have kind of always, because especially when it comes to classic cars, people are always looking for low mileage. And I'm like, why are you looking for low mileage? Because that means that car hasn't been used. There's a mutual friend of mine in Imthishan in Dubai, a guy called James Burnett, and he used to work at the Lotus factory when they still were making Lotus Esprits. And he was I think he was one of their test drivers. And I remember chatting to him, just referring back to your Esprit earlier. And I remember chatting to him, and he was like, yeah, they are problematic. He said, unless you use them every day. And he said,
Yeah.
at one point it was his company car, and he said he never had a problem with it because he was
Yeah.
using it every day, and that was simply it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got an anniversary Countach in for recommissioning. It's done 11,000 kilometers, and the owner is having to spend nearly £15,000 in just parts alone. I mean, you're looking at HT leads for £1,200. And then there's labor just to get the car running on the road. Whereas my one, which is I'm sitting behind that one, has done 38,000 kilometers, which is quite high for a Countach, by the way. I think Jay Leno's got the other one, who's done about 60,000. This one doesn't leak any oil, starts on the button, the carburetors now go out of tune. So there is something to say. But the problem is low mileage is what people look at when they come to buying. And that's the problem.
And the Ferrari guys are the worst, because if it's over 30,000 miles, my Ferrari is now 360, 54,000 miles.
Yeah. Which Ferrari do you have?
360 Spider.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
I've modified it. I bought a Challenge Stradale kit on it. I've got Challenge Stradale exhaust, and
it's very loud.
And it's very loud. Yeah, I've got because I put those Capristo sports caps on it as well.
Right.
And I think I'm happy with the car. And if I sold it, there's nothing else I can get which could ever replace it. And I spend 100,000 more, 80,000 more for a 458. Does the same thing. I'm going to still be stuck in traffic. Probably won't sound as large. Get a Giado, but doesn't really. It's a lovely car, but doesn't rock my boat. So I'm just keeping my 360.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy to have. I'd like.
There's no rules about classic cars. You buy what makes you feel good.
Yeah,
I think there's a question that's come in. I think maybe Imthishan could take this one. The question is, so what car is the next made famous in the movies car that we should be buying now that will be worth a fortune in 15 to 20 years' time?
There are no car movies, so you're kind of stuck. Like the next stuff is already going sky high. All the Fast and the Furious cars are going through the roof. R34 GTRs are already knocking on the door of $1 million. The new Fast and the Furious movies, they're all featuring old cars, which kind of tells you a lot about where they can't find any new cars worth talking about. I mean, I was at the W Motors showroom or factory actually in Dubai a couple of weeks ago. Remember W Motors? They did the Lycan Hypersport thing. That was
in Fast and Furious. It jumped between the two buildings.
Yeah, I saw the actual car, the jump car. They have it there. I don't know how many they sold of them, to be honest with you. I don't know. It's very hard to say. But that car should have gone into space. Should have. In terms of values. But I can't find them. I can't find any cars for sale. I can't find how many cars have been sold. So it's all much of a muchness. Everything is iconic now. The problem is, for something to become something that we desire or want to own years afterwards, you need to add time. and you can't decide so quickly. Like Knight Rider, it took 20 years to get to the point where it was, right? Same Back to the Future took about 20 years as well. But right now, if you make a car movie tomorrow, you need 20 years after that to see if it has an impact on the car market. And none of us are going to be around then, I suspect. So yeah, it's very hard to tell. So you have to look back. It's 2025. You have to look back to essentially 2005. And what car movies were big in 2005? Not a lot.
Well, it was Fast and Furious, wasn't it?
It was Fast and the Furious, which is why those cars are going up. Europeans, because the war in Iraq was happening. So nobody was thinking, oh, let's make a light-hearted car film, right? The whole culture was very dark, etc. So nobody's making these silly films about cars. Everybody is like, we need to get serious now. And that kind of has hung on through this time now, where nobody wants to make a car movie because it's like, oh, it's, but it's not really something we should be making. We should make films.
The other thing about growing up and all the car movies and car TV shows and what have you was that it was part of them envisaging the plot of something or the personality of the hero, the protagonist or whatever, where they would literally associate with a car. Don Johnson, Ferrari, Magnum, Ferrari, whoever else you can think of, A-Team, the van, Faceman, the Corvette, obviously David Hasselhoff with the Trans Am. So I always felt like a lot of thought had always been put into, okay, this is the hero, this is where he is, this is what he does, what car does he drive? That would be like the fourth question.
Shazad, I forgot to mention this to you recently. I drove a couple of Ferraris 308s recently. One of them was pretty much a right-hand drive version of the car from the show, fiberglass car. So the carbureted engine. The other one was a 308, but a late car, American spec. So QV wasn't running particularly well. They handle so nice. But the other one is probably a better car, more sorted, etc. The later car. But the early car is lighter, nastier. It has that carbureted engine. And that is the car that makes you feel like Thomas Magnum, irrespective. And that is the one you should get. And obviously the values of those have gone through the roof. But the early cars are unbelievably special. So I think when you get a car that is a movie car, two things have to happen. Number one, it has to look like you remembered when you were a wee kid. Secondly, it has to drive to the level that satisfies you as an adult. And that's not always easy because these are dated cars. So the Ferrari 308s I've driven up to this point have all been kind of disappointing. This is the first 308 I thought, oh, wow, this is fantastic. By the way, it didn't stop. The brakes weren't working. So that was a slight problem, which is old car shit yet again. The DeLorean, I think when I got it, it didn't matter how it drove because it traveled through time, right? But as Shazad knows, over the years, I threw many thousands of pounds at it, making it like a proper driving car. So that has to happen. And I think if cars don't have that kind of drivability, it doesn't matter what movie it's in, But
all the new movies now, they're using all the old cars. So
that's the trouble.
So the young guys, sadly, in 10 years' time, they won't be able to afford these because it'd be like stupid money. They already are stupid money.
Yeah, I mean, they're all using old cars, and all the old cars that they actually use in the movies are all replicas. So they're not actually even the real cars because it's too expensive to use them.
In fact, I get many calls from various production companies or scouts, so they call them, asking if they can rent my car for the weekend because there's a film shoot.
Isn't it Studio 424 or 242 or something?
It's a big
what's his name?
warehouse.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, he's got like level. I've been there once, and they apparently a lot of their cars are used in the TV and movie industry.
Yeah. But I don't give them because these are my toys, and I don't want to give my toys away. And it comes back, and they say if they're ruined, they'll pay for it. But you don't really want the clutch gone on a Countach and them to pay for it because it'll never be the same again. So this is what.
Shazad knows exactly how many times I was asked to borrow a DeLorean. And it was like one a week, I think, pretty much.
Well, but you had the only working on-road DeLorean in the entire UAE at the time.
Yeah, there are a few here now. There are a few here now. Right. Yeah, there are a couple. There are more popped up. So I wouldn't own it now because I wasn't the only one. I'm like that.
I think
but you sold it too early though because the prices are going even higher now.
It's all right.
I think we need to go. We need to go to Dubai and do a podcast from Dubai together, all of us.
It's not a bad idea. By the way, the fact that they're not making car movies is not entirely true. It's just that they're coming in, they're smuggled into other films in strange ways. So what we think of as car movies is car movies where there's a hero with, like, you know, a Hawaiian shirt or somebody that walks into screen with cool glasses. But now car movies are coming at the edges of other films. Like there was Baby Driver many years ago, which I didn't like that much, but it had a cars as part of it. There's a movie.
Subaru.
A Subaru, yeah, they had a bunch of cars.
Sequence, yeah.
There's a movie in the cinemas right now, which is, I think, probably some of the best car casting I've ever seen. And it's the new Leonardo DiCaprio film, One Battle After Another, which I highly recommend people go
Have you
see.
seen? I haven't. I was wondering
I've
if you
seen
watch it or not.
I've seen it.
Worth watching.
It's a great movie. Good movie.
But the car casting, Adnan, you'll recognize, is absolutely right. Certain people drive certain cars and they make total sense for the character. Like the hero drives this Nissan Sunny / Sentra, and it's got a horrible racket. It's got a hole in the exhaust. It's unbelievable.
Spoiler alert for Sai.
But it suits
Spoiler alert.
He's only mentioning the cars. He didn't mention the plot.
I don't want to know anything about it. I don't want to. I'm spoiler.
It's not a spoiler movie, but everything about the cars and the people. Some of the bad guys drive muscle cars, which is not a surprise. But the way they use the cars, the way they become characters who represent the people, that to me is really interesting. Did you think that, Adnan, when you were watching it?
Yeah, I did. You know what? I've forgotten a lot about the movie. I only saw it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it shows you how modern movies don't impact me as much as them. It's probably age as well. Yeah, it's probably age. And but you're absolutely right. It's got car, but I don't think it's enough for people to go. It's just not enough for people.
It's not a car movie, but
it's not a car movie.
Those movies will never be made again, mate. They never will.
No, no. I mean, maybe they should do a Cannonball Run, another one. I mean, I'm sure they.
I've so often.
And then they could use all the modern cars. I mean,
I've even Imthishan knows this. I've even written a short story that's called Camel Ball Run, where I envisage a rerunning of the Cannonball Run, but in a modern era, but in the Middle East. You know. So one thing I want to take issue with something that you said earlier. It's like, you know, I don't know if it was you or Sai, that if you're driving a certain car, that you don't want to be, you don't want to be obvious that if you're driving a black Trans Am, maybe, who does he think he is, Michael Knight? But I'm like, what's wrong with that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's wrong? You know, because at the end of the day, you don't want to see a black Trans Am turn up and then a short, ugly guy get out of it. You know what I mean? You want to see somebody who's like, oh yeah, it could be a Michael Knight. And surely the car sort of infuses you with that sort of personality and character.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Also, don't you want people to, like with Imtishan's car, wherever you parked it up, people just Back to the Future, you know, and they just wanted to see the doors up, and they wanted to see that. And I was like, well, let them see, because one of the things is important for me is like, if a car can provide some joy and some pleasure to people that see it, why not?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And this is why my unit and my showroom here is open for anyone to come and enjoy that. Absolutely, I totally agree. And in fact, if I go up Knightsbridge in some of my cars, especially the Mustang, and I park it up and I have a coffee watching me and my friend, he's got a Challenger 70. It's just lovely for them. And tell you what, it's the best business marketing, because they want your business card. Yeah. And you end up giving out about 50 business cards by just having a coffee in Knightsbridge. And so, yeah, I mean, classic cars are for this, you know, they're art because they were designed by a human, and they're nostalgic. So yeah, it's 100%. It's a personal thing that I don't want to drive around thinking Michael Knight, and that's just a personal thing. And
I want to buy a Batmobile. That's what I want.
Yeah. Then you could.
Yeah, because he has got the Batman suit.
I've got the Batman suit, which I'm going to wear.
It's got the Batman suit from the 1989 Keaton movie.
But the question is, do you fit in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a belly, but yeah, I'm going to wear it next Saturday to Excel. It's Comic-Con, so I'm taking my son.
Well, I live next to Excel, so I'll see you there.
Yeah, I've got the full thing.
Imthishan was involved in Comic-Con in the UAE. In fact, it was because of Imthishan that I got to sit in and see William Shatner.
All right.
Is William Shatner still alive? Yeah, see?
Very much so.
Is he still
very old? Yeah.
How old is he? 100? Must be 100.
God, He must
By the
be
way,
90.
but by the way,
94.
one car I must tell you that I like, modern car, which I will buy, is a Kia Stinger. Now, I don't care what you lot say about it, but it's a great car. I think that's going to be a future classic.
You know, the Kia Stinger is a car that had a lot of promise. It didn't quite live up to its promise.
It doesn't matter.
Me and Imthishan reviewed the car.
It looks
actually
nice.
in
It
the
looks
UAE.
nice.
It does.
I liked it. I thought it was
really
great.
good. It looked really good.
I thought it was great. I loved it.
Drove really well. One
But
of
it
the
looks
things that
nice.
really disappointed me was that the engine sound was entirely simulated. Like you couldn't hear anything from outside the car. It was all inside.
Do you know what
the
the
car.
point is? It's rare. It's modern. It's rare, and it just looks muscular, like a muscle car, a little muscle car. And for me, that's enough. You know what I've got? I've got here's a car. Listen to this. I've got a Hyundai F2 Evolution Coupe.
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember them?
Yeah, I think
right.
so. Yeah.
Now, I bought that for £800. But when I look at it,
£800. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, right? But I tell you what, now that Hyundai are known quite well, suddenly people are looking at that. But it's because they only made a few of them for rallying homologation, right? So I bought one. It's and to me, I don't care what the value is. The same thing with a Stinger. I wouldn't mind buying a Stinger, a grey one.
You know, you've just reminded me of something because you're sitting there, you've got Countach behind you, and you've got Ferrari 2.8 and stuff like that. But one of the cars that fascinated me most in your collection was a yellow Bluebird, yellow Datsun Bluebird. Look at that. And that's a car that apparently you just rescued. You found them rotting in somebody's house, and you just rescued it.
Yeah, so it wasn't rotting. It was fine. I found it on the side of the street, and this lovely English guy owned it. And then I wanted to transform it to look like a GTR from '72. What's the? I asked you this last time. What's the Japanese word for them? I think it's Harushu. I don't know what it is.
What's it called? The Imthishan? What are they called?
Which one? Which GTR?
The Japanese name for the old GTRs. There was a name they used to call them.
There's an old one called the Hakusoka.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. So I wanted to make it look like that. So I went about basically.
That's amazing. Look at that. That's so cool.
Hey,
Bluebird.
Yeah,
the car of my youth in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
and so I made it. I tried to make it look like that, and which it kind of does. Am I right to say that this is probably the same chassis as a GTR from that era? Because it's the same car. Yeah, because it's the same dimensions. But anyway.
But this is the thing, talking about your collection, seeing that car and seeing the Cressida that you had. Was
that's
your
over there.
Dad's car,
let me go to it. Yeah, so that's a car my dad had in 1979-80. He bought it brand new. And then he sold it for £500-600 in '85. And then I found it in an auction. And I put a £10,000 bid in it, thinking I'll get it for £2,000. £9,000.
Blimey.
And then when I showed it to my father, he just said I'm an idiot buying it back. But
but the Cressida was like that's in Saudi Arabia growing up. That was the car.
So here it is.
My uncle actually had one of those. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so that's the car, and it's basically non-restored. And listen, that's another thing. That's a parent thing. I'm sure. I don't know what your parents had as a car when you were young, but if you could get that car back, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, totally.
So are these cars all your own personal cars, or are they cars for sale?
No, they're all my personal cars, but sometimes people come in and offer me stupid money, and I get excited and I just take the money and leave it. But they're all my personal cars. I don't want to get rid of them, but you end up, if someone comes in and says, "Oh, I want to buy this," and you kind of put a stupid price tag on it because you don't want to sell it, and they go, "Okay," then you can't say no.
Are you a collector or a hoarder?
I'm a bit of both. I'm a collector.
He's got all the mobile phones from Dot One. He's got all of them.
He's a hoarder.
He's a hoarder
mentality.
Jay Leno on Top Gear, he said something very important, and he said it to all of us petrol heads. He said, if you could, you would. If you could get all these cars and put them in a unit, you would, right?
We'd all be Jay Leno if we could.
Well, I've got a friend of mine who always says to me, "You've got 4 cars. You're the only person who drives them. You work from home. You don't drive anywhere. why have you got 4 cars? You shouldn't have. Why have you got 4 cars? And I always turn around and say to her, because I've got no space for 5 cars.
Exactly. And this is the thing. I've got 3 units here, and literally every time there's a space, I'll go, do you know, I fancy an Audi Quattro. And you kind of look for one, and if you can afford to buy it, you buy it and put it there. And that's what petrol heads are all about, isn't it? That's what it is. We all want to be Jay Leno, basically.
We would all be Jay Leno. So as we're coming to the end of this, we'll wrap up. We talked a lot about movie cars and hero cars and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask a question that's going to be probably very, very hard for each of you. If you had to have one car that represented you, just one hero car for who you are, what would that car be? Let's start with Sai.
The Batman 89 Keaton car. It's got to be that car. That's for me is the one I would drive around. I would drive that down Knightsbridge. Zero turning circle, but that would be, or the Tumbler, which is a bit more, even more. But I'd be one of those cars. I'm just like very extravagant when I drive around.
There you go.
I'm just a cliche. I can't help.
Adnan?
Well, I've got the one I would probably be buried in it as well. Is the Countach anniversary, I think. Yeah, so if I ever died and you came to my grave, you'll see the wing at the top, and I'll be in it somewhere. But so that's the car I would have, and that represents my company as well, because it's kind of what I based my company around, the Countach anniversary. And so yeah, so that would be it. Next to that would be the Mustang, but I could get rid of the Mustang, but the Countach I would never want to get rid of if I didn't have to.
What about a modern day Countach they made? The modern version?
That's basically an Aventador or whatever it is. You know, I've got an Aventador here, and every time I start it, the engine light's on or this light is on. The driving experience is nowhere near as nice. And the funny thing is, I took it out the other day to see a customer, and as I was driving it, I kid you not, I forgot. You forget that you're in a Lamborghini. You have to look in the reflection on the windows to see. Oh my God, I'm in a Aventador. Whereas when you're in a 911 or an anniversary Lamborghini or a 328, you know you're driving a car. So that's basically it. So the Countach for me would be the car I would have to have if I got rid of everything.
Imthishan?
I had the car that I wanted to be in, which was DeLorean. That's gone. But I will add another movie car, and I think it has to be an Eleanor. You remember the Eleanor that I drove?
Yeah.
And that was a very special car. You know, Shazad, you and me have driven tons of cars, hundreds of cars over the years. And some of them fast, some of them slow, some of them disappointing, some of them exciting. But whenever people ask me, which car do you love? Which car was the one car you love? It always comes back to those Mustangs that Jean-Luc gave us. I don't know why.
Classic recreations Mustangs from America. They were resto mods.
Because they were not Mustangs. Yeah. They were so customized to the point they were modern cars. They had modern everything. But they had that rawness, but they also handled, stopped, went properly. Yeah. You know, they were the best of all worlds.
Yeah. You know, there's a company in America on TV, there's that show where they would take a modern Mustang, take the body of the old one, and then kind of fit it. Yeah. And you know, my Mustang is I've kind of modernized it with modern suspension, modern wheels. So it's got low profile tires and sound system installed and heating, so that I can use it all the time. Yeah. And it's actually, the picture of it is there at the back. You see it there? Yeah,
stunning.
Yeah. Absolutely stunning. So it is. I mean, Mustangs are just the default car. When it comes
it is the kind of ultimate hero car, isn't it? Like because the moment you drive a Mustang, you're a hero, full stop. Yeah,
and the other thing is, from a 3-year-old to a 90-year-old, you mention Mustang, they know what it is. Yeah, that's it.
I would say that if you're looking for a new one, there are companies that make better examples. There's a company called Revology.
In Florida. There's 1 or 2 of them here in the UK.
Which are incredible, stunning cars. I think the starting price is around $280,000, something like that. They're not cheap, but they don't build a Mustang. They build a modern car with modern panel gaps, AC, everything. And for that kind of money, you expect it to be. That's a car that I would have. For that kind of
money. How about you, Shazad? How about you?
Well, I'm going to go back to the car that you dissed earlier, which is the Esprit, because you can see, if anybody can see above my head on the cabinet above me, you've got the
Yeah.
Starship Enterprise, you've actually got the Bullet Mustang, and you've got the White Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me. So, and it'd be one of those cars, but it'd have to be the Esprit, honestly. Because, you know,
Why is that? Is that because
even if it doesn't go anywhere, Imthishan will know this. I once found, and Sai will know this because I'm writing a feature for his magazine, but I once found a red abandoned Esprit Turbo, the G-body one. I think it was Series 3 S3 in Sharjah. And I tried to find out whose car it was. I couldn't track it down. I was making lots of calls and knocking on doors and stuff like that. At one point, I contemplated, and this is illegal over there, but I contemplated just lifting it and bringing it back to my place and putting it outside my place and just giving it a clean just so that I could look at it every morning. You know, and I nearly did it. And I was going to do it. I was so close to doing it, but then I think it got impounded a couple of weeks later, so it disappeared.
well, you know,
it did re-emerge a few years later, but that's a story for the mag.
prices are dropping, so you can fulfill your dream.
Well, clearly from that Esprit S3 that went for 13 grand, that was unbelievable. Anyway,
that's free. That's a free Esprit. You should.
That was a crazy price. That was crazy
good.
price.
Excellent.
Anyway,
excellent.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been interesting. It's been fun, and having the four-way thing has been interesting. We've not done that before on the Brown Car Guy therapy session, but I think it's Sai's having completely different ideas there. I met the four people in.
You know
four people on the couch.
You know me too well. I was thinking of 3 cents and 4 cents.
Interesting. Well, we should do one. We should do one here. We should do one here one day.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll try and do. We'll get you guys on again. Anyway, so everybody watching this, I hope you enjoyed it. This was the live session. There will be an edited one later on, so that will be a better quality version. That'll be also on the channel. But there you go. That was the session. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all the rest of it, and share it. And keep it locked to Brown Car Guy because we will surely be doing these things again very, very soon. Thanks very much, guys.
See you later.